Graduates, please don't forget to collect your certificate in the celebration marquee with a green heart after the ceremony is finished. Thank you, congratulations, and we hope you have a wonderful graduation experience.
Congratulations to our University of Birmingham graduates. Here we are in the Great Hall at the heart of the Edgbaston campus. Attendees, mostly graduates and their friends and family, are seated. Here are the student musicians, It's great to see them returning to ceremonies following the pandemic. we're getting started. Here's the first of our 2 mace bearers beginning the ceremony. The centenary mace bearer is usually a staff member who has volunteered to take part in the ceremony. The mace bearer enters through the back of the Great Hall and leads a procession of staff to the stage. The Squire Bedell, who is the second of the 2 mace bearers, follows. The maces are placed on the stage for the duration of the ceremony.
I declare the congregation open. Good afternoon. Welcome to Birmingham. It's genuinely lovely to see so many of you here, and thank you very much for coming. As Vice-Chancellor, it is a real pleasure to welcome you here today for your graduation. As we start our celebration, take a look around you. I can't think of a more stunning venue in which to celebrate your achievements. And as you sit here in this great hall, you may just be able to glimpse the ghosts of all that's happened since it first opened over a century ago. In recent times, this has included row after row of desks set out for exams, enough to strike fear into the hearts of students and remind those of us sitting up here of when we were sitting in your place. We've had distinguished speakers here, from Yehudi Menuhin, Peter Ustinov, Maureen Lipman, David Lodge, Robert Winston, and even that national treasure, David Attenborough. We've welcomed international conferences, religious festivals, celebratory dinners, and even the odd wedding or two. And this great hall has had many less obvious uses over the years. If you'd been here during the First World War, you might have been a soldier who'd returned from the front, or a nurse treating the wounded, as the hall was converted into a military hospital. If you'd been here during the Second World War, you could have been training on a pommel horse, as the room became a gym training soldiers for the front line. In the 1960s, it turned occasionally into a pop-up cinema, and in the 1970s and 80s, it was the venue for the City of Birmingham Symphony Orchestra, and they recorded over 50 albums here over 2 decades. And more recently, and this you probably will remember, you might have had a swab stuck up your nose at our COVID testing facility during the during the pandemic. But you are now part of the history of this great building. And you're more importantly part of the history of this great university. Think back to when you first arrived. Most of you will have experienced excitement and trepidation. Nervousness that you wouldn't fit in, or that you wouldn't be able to tackle the challenges ahead. And as you progress through your degree, there will have been times when the decisions you needed to make seemed clear and obvious, but others when you just weren't sure what you were going to do. There will have been concepts, problems, or ideas that will have inspired you, and others that will certainly have made your brain hurt. I'm sure there will have been lectures that you've attended that filled you with knowledge or sparked your imagination, and I'm probably sure that there will have been others that felt as if they just went on that bit too long. I'm sure that you spent long nights in the library, or some of you at least, hoping against hope that information would stick, or that you could find the right reference for an interesting piece of research to include in an essay. But outside your academic efforts, you will have made new friends, and some of those will remain friends for your lifetime. Treasure those special people. You will support each other during life's ups and downs, and no matter where you go in the world, you will always have this common shared experience. So a call or a message from them will make you smile. And I should say on a personal note, I met my own wife doing a geography degree, and we first met on a field trip, and we've stuck together ever since. So these things really do last for good, and maybe for Bridget for ill. I hope that as you look back on all of this, you'll recognise what you've achieved. You've grown in confidence, and you've learned to be resilient, to prioritise, to manage. You've successfully completed your degree in very difficult circumstances, and you have the knowledge and the skills to address the needs of our world now and in the future. And you will soon be a graduate of one of the world's top universities. And you and your family here today are enormously proud. And your friends and your family today are enormously proud of what you've become. I'd really hope that your time at this university has given you memories that will stay with you forever. So, as you reflect on your experiences and on your graduation, do be rightly proud of everything you've achieved. But I know that you'll agree that you couldn't have done it by yourself. If it takes a village to raise a person, it takes a great university to produce a great graduate. During your time here, you'll have been taught by some of the best lecturers in the world and been inspired by their enthusiasm and their knowledge. You've also been supported in myriad ways by the tutors and student support teams around you. And I'd like to give you the opportunity to thank everyone at the university who's supported you during your time here, some of whom may have been able to join us today and are sitting behind me. So should we give them a thanks? And as I look in front of me towards the front of the Great Hall, I can see genuinely lots of very, very proud faces, some with tears in their eyes, and many of whom are just made up for you. And I know that people have lumps in their throat, and I remember when my own daughters graduated, quite how emotional it is. There are also people watching online, and this is a full capacity, so people like sitting, watching the great screen in the Green Heart, who are thinking of you and who are proud of everything that you've achieved. You will all have that person, all those people who've believed in you, people who supported you and showed you kindness, and without whom you wouldn't be here. Graduands, perhaps it'd be nice for you to be able to show your appreciation and thanks to your family and your friends who are able to support you to get here today. So very soon you will come up onto the stage and I'll admit you to your degree. This is your moment. When your name is read out, that will be your moment of graduation. And family and friends, that's your time to make a lot of noise. So just a couple of pieces of advice. What we'll do is I'll hand you a scroll. Because of COVID, we're not shaking hands, so I just will hand you a scroll. But be careful on the steps. I have to say, a few years ago, I remember somebody we were walking down the steps in high heels and she tripped into the lap of somebody on the front row. And I know at least one person on the front row, and I'm not sure that, that Katie would welcome that. Give a big smile for the cameras, and don't forget to savour your moment. My warmest congratulations to all of you. Well done, and thank you very much.
Now for the handing of the scrolls. The graduates will walk from the left of the stage to the centre and collect their scroll from the conferring officer. After they're congratulated, they'll walk off stage.
My name's John Oldfield. I'm the head of school for Geography, Earth and Environmental Sciences. Vice-Chancellor and Principal, to you and the University, I present the names of these graduates as listed in my programme, both in attendance and in absentia, proved worthy to be admitted to their respective degrees.
By virtue of my authority as Vice-Chancellor and Principal, I admit those persons listed in the programme to the degrees to which they have been listed.
So College of Life and Environmental Sciences, School of Geography, Earth and Environmental Sciences, Doctor of Philosophy. For research into the toxicity of silver nanoparticles to a zebrafish embryo cell model, Ana Isabel Carrasco-Covedo. For research into impacts of rising carbon dioxide concentrations and climate change on mature temperate forests, Angelica Camuli. For research into the hydrology of boreal lake, peatland and forestland ecosystems, Samantha Nicole Leader. For research into the indigenous planning process in Taiwan, Sergei Liu. For research into the novel concept of nanostructure formation in aerosols and its potential atmospheric impact, Adam Nielsen. For research into the flood governance role of internal drainage boards in England, Augustine Ifede Cueto Nanquo. For research into modelling transport-related air pollution in urban street networks, Helen Irene Pearce. For research into impacts of microplastics on the freshwater species Daphnia magna, Katie Riley. For research into the impacts of microplastics on Daphnia magna in the lab and in the wild, Sofia Bintasupian. For research into the health effects of airborne particulate matter in China and India, Stephen Thompson. For research into the application of Earth observations and chemical transport modelling to investigate air quality and health, Khan Voran. Doctor of Philosophy with integrated study. For research into the air pollution climatology of particulate matter in Daman, Saudi Arabia, Mana Mauda Zalweda. Master of Research, Jason Daniel Harrison. Master of Science, Alistair David Dewar. Master of Science, Air Pollution Management and Control, Liam James McGurk. Applied Meteorology and Climatology, Konrad Jaskolski. Health, Safety and Environmental Management, Luca Velli. Public and Environmental Health Sciences, Philip Mensah-Owerri-Sasu. Urban and Regional Planning, Charlotte Allen. Daniel Anderson. Rebecca Bakewell. Charlotte Barry. Joseph Bennett. Emma Louise Booker. Sophia Georgia Fearon. Samuel Humphreys. Carrie Euphemia Evelyn Lansell. Lauren Jade Lyman. Stephen Lee Owen. Robert Smith. Megan Somerville. Lenya Sultan. Master in Science, Environmental Science, Estelle Georgia Darko. Bhavik Kesambai Naik. Geography, Alice Cook. Laura Elizabeth Salabine. Victoria Lee Saunders. Geography with International Year, Phoebe India Uppal Thomas. Geology, Alexandra Meek. Robin Mottram. Geology and Physical Geography, Holly Olivia Bentham. Isabel Grace Boggust. Bethany Grace Moss. Emily Rother. Geology and Physical Geography with an International Year, Zoe Genevieve Price. Geology with an International Year, Zara Ruth Königsberg. Paleobiology and Paleoenvironments, Ben James Campbell. Josh David Dixon. Lewis Ryan Haller. Adam Christopher Manning. Bachelor of Arts, Geography, Caitlin Atchell. Toby Azizolov. Hermione Bennett. Samuel Mackenzie Bing. Oliver George Bishop. Max Bowski. Hannah Isabel Brown. Thomas Robert Carter. Annabelle Costello. Bronte Chadwick. Joshua Sam Cohen. Megan Inez Coulson. Millie Jessica Cameron Cripps. Alice Iona Cummings. Madeleine Iris Ducken. Amelia Dunlop. Jessica Dunning. Katie Ellis. Noah Max Emsley. Charlotte Hankins. Sophie Hart. Georgia Hodgkiss. Jazzy Howell Smith. Lydia Hughes. Cameron Andrew Humphreys. Charlotte Hunt. Daniel Hunt. Poppy Hannah Jacobs. Aliyah Jannat. Matthew Jennings. Katie Johns. Alexandra Jordan. Eliza Scarlett Bishop Lander. Timna Chen Levinson. Francis McGonigal. Marley Meek. Cara Morton. Chantal Amars-Letier. Amy Rose Osborne. Rachel Joy Park. Ewan Parker. Catherine Parry. Lily Patience. Lucy Poole. Shania Rankin. Katie Victoria Robinson. Louisa Rowlands. Harry Alex Scott. Alice Elizabeth Shearston. Grace Elizabeth Shepherd. Hannah Shorter. Bradley Simmons. Toby Skinner. Abigail Spicer. Beatrice Spicer. Yuyuye Sun. Ellen Victoria Taylor. Sandra Karunakaran Thekipoya. Amy Thoms. Louis Jack Turvey. Sophie Ann Utteridge. Emily Jane Vareth. Emma Sarah Vincent. Corinne Vrensen. Rosanna Walsh. Anna Amelia Catherine Way. Thomas White. Sofia Wierzbowska. Joseph Williamson. Stephanie Rigglesworth. James Young. Bachelor of Science, Environmental Science, Parvin Baines. Connor John Clint Bradbury. Keziah Aliyah Cardozo. Lily Coleman. Devon Collier Woods. Jenna Dawson. Alistair Dukas. Sophie Dunn. Evie Mary Helen Garrett. Evangeline Caroline Giblet. Zihan Guo. James Hilton. Wayne Jim. Rosalind Joyce. Charlotte Elizabeth Lavan. Jia Junlo. Wen Silu. Thomas Moy. Patrice Ntupenjala. Patrick O'Neill. Charlotte May Piggott. Leo Robert John Plain. Marfa Savik Rahman. Catherine Rathburn. Joshua Dew Sargent. Hannah Victoria Smith. Megan Elizabeth Senross. Alice May Stanfield. Jessica Lucy Taylor. Han Yu Yang. Emily Young. Yuhan Zhu. Geography. Jed Ainsley Bridger. Ellen Elizabeth Archer. Kaylee Page Bradshaw. Sebastian Collins. Thomas James Cox. Abby May Davies. Alexander George Finlow. Grace Gibbons. Umair Ikra Gillett. Megan Jade Hall. Kieran Ross Hargreaves. Jack Harrison. Samuel Houghton. Molly Isherwood. Lucy Jacks. Zoe Jones. Samin Kaur Barisu. Ellen Rose Kiff. Faye Lancaster. Thomas David Lydiard. Will Matthews. Aoife Camille MacDonald. Caitlin McMillan. Ishani Mistry. Matthew Roderick. Amy Louise Rogers. Erin Margaret Rogers. Owen Griffith Rose. Adam Savage. Anna Shearer. Simone Silver. Emily Louisa Fenwick Storch. David Tarnopolsky. Jake Valens. Alba Vegas Camila Gonzalez. Eleanor Grace White. Harrison Colin Worley. Ella Lily Wright. Lucy May Young. Geography and Urban and Regional Planning, Saba Ahmed. Callum Hugh Cairns. Lorna Callan. Meg Charnley. Yenrei Chen. Lawrence Clark. Sam George Clues. Rhiannon Elizabeth Crossman. Rhiannon Sarah Elliott. Robert Ellis. Ulfa Fatah Ahmed. Darcy Fisher. Mankit Falk. James Aidan Gehring. Samuel Joel Gilbert. Matilda Rani Glass. Jack Aidan Goodall. Gabrielle Megan Gums. Megan Hill. Anna Francis Jeffers. Yolanda Jeffrey. Connor Long. Charles Lovelock Edwards. Maisie Belmarsh. Ichimati Musamputri. She and I knew. Yuan Hoi Pong. Sian Tsin. George Robinson. Esther Chloe Rubinson. Sinran Sambi. Isabel Sankey. Yuval Schwartz. Charlie Tilt. Imogen Sophia Wall. Alana Winstanley. Monkey Wong. Megan Wright. Siyue Shang. Xia Yixiong. Geography with Year Abroad, Eleanor Rachel Jury. Harry Palsland. Imogen Kate Saxby, Geology, Molly Neve Allen, Charlie Burke, James Davies, Joshua Hitchman, Eleanor May Holmes, Amal Ahmed Khan, Matthew Knowles, Thomas Liu, Madeline Long, Rosie Mazdarovich, Harriet Louisa Mansell, Chinyenya Victoria Oge Evans, Roshni Patel, Abby Lucy Roberts, Amelia Smith, Hannah Mary Triggs. Geology and Physical Geography, Max Bowden. Harriet Jane Cooper. Henry Michael John Cox. Jessica Lucy Cray. Poppy Cridland. Harriet Dahlgreen. Jack Dope. Owen Ford. Georgia Lee Healy. Hugo Holsworth. Ajantha Kirupakaran. Michael Morrison. Sebastian Lauren Moss. Louise Parkinson. Christian Costa Salas. Ollie Sanders. Claudia Beatrice Tockel. Abby Louise Ward. Yu Hei Lau. Alex Kate Stacey. I'd now like to introduce the student representative to give a speech on behalf of the graduating cohort. So, Ichimati Musamputri, who is BSc Geography, Urban and Regional Planning.
and good afternoon, graduates, parents, members of the university, and distinguished guests. I'm really honored to have the opportunity to speak on behalf of the class of 2022. We are here today to celebrate our achievements, being awarded degrees in geography, planning, earth sciences, and environmental sciences, which, just to clarify for the non-geographers in the room, is surprisingly a little bit more than rivers, oxbow lakes, and coloring in the maps. We still do that, just not as much as you would think. For most of us, today is the result of a journey of 3 or more years, which I think it's safe to say has been even more challenging than we had expected. When I moved to Birmingham 3 years ago, I expected a completely predictable university life. But well, that did not happen. It's fair to say it's not been the easiest time. Between us, we faced a global pandemic, but yet, despite that, we've made it to the other side. So, congratulations and very, very well done. This is the time to be proud of ourselves and our achievements. We could not have done all of this without the help of people around us. So I would like to take this moment to extend our gratitude to them. Firstly, thank you to our tutors, lecturers, and academic staff, as well as staff in administration, well-being, employability, and student experience, who worked tirelessly and through very difficult personal circumstances to ensure minimum disruption to our learning and development. We thank you sincerely for your efforts. Thank you also to parents, guardians, families, partners, and friends who cared for us, provided for us, and motivated us. Finally, thank you to all of you for being part of such a supportive student community. At a time where people were pushed farther apart, we found new ways to ask for and provide help. From group chats to Zoom calls, virtual activities to socially distanced walks and picnics, we adapted and stood by each other. And it is this collective spirit we should keep embracing into the future. When I look back at the last 3 years, I see it filled with numerous happy memories. The field trips we went on, where physical geographers went into forests and rivers to collect samples, and human geographers observed how the space in the city center was being used, which may have incorporated the odd cafe trip. The 9 AM seminars we somehow turned up to, trying our best to contribute to discussions, even though some of us might not have done the readings. The all-nighters we pulled in the library, just in time for the 11:59 submission on Canvas, and all the money we spent at Costa and Gomex treating ourselves for every insignificant reason. The Panopto videos we watched at 1.25 speed, and all the times we had to recite the alphabet while making the reference list. I remember every time in the final year somebody asked me what my dissertation was on and I had to explain them, but more importantly, how that dissertation was geography. I remember the people I sat with during lectures who became my best friends. I also remember all the other people who I shared classes with, worked on projects with, or simply had a chat. You're all reasons why my university life was as good as it was. University doesn't just give us degrees. It helps us discover ourselves, what we like, dislike, what we believe in, how we see the world, and who we share that vision with. These are some of the things that my time at the University of Birmingham has helped me understand, and I hope it has been the same for you. We graduate today as better versions of ourselves, with more knowledge about theories and research methods, skills of collaboration, communication, resilience, and the other nice words we can now put on our CV, and our passion and commitment to each other, the society, and the world. Here I see a room full of people with immense potential to change the world, and I, for one, cannot wait to see what comes next. So, all the best for your upcoming journeys, and it has been an absolute pleasure sharing this part of my life with you. Thank you.
Graduates, friends and families, I have the opportunity now to follow a fantastic speech from one of your peers. I'm Laura Green, I'm Head of the College of Life and Environmental Sciences, and Geography, Earth and Environmental Sciences is one of the 4 schools in that college, and all 4 schools are graduating today, so it's a fantastic day. It's one of my greatest privileges to be part of your graduation ceremonies and to celebrate your achievements with you. I can see from the beaming smiles as you come up on stage just how much it means to each one of you. From its very beginnings in 1900, as England's first civic university, we have welcomed people of all faiths and backgrounds and have become home to some truly inspirational people. If you walk down the corridors either side of the Great Hall today, you will see museum objects, prototypes, manuscripts and photographs that tell the stories of groundbreaking research done in this university. This includes the work of Sir Peter Medawa, who won a Nobel Prize for his studies on organ transplant. You will also see the work of 2 dentists who created the airbag after treating servicemen with severe facial injuries during the First World War. These are just a few examples of how we change lives through our research. But we also have an impact in the world around us in other ways. If on your way out of the Great Hall you turn right and walk down to the Bramall, you will see posters and photos telling the story of the university's role in local international music culture. Everything from Sister Bliss and The Cure through to Joy Division's last ever concert. I should say at this stage, this exhibition finishes in 1995. Some of these bands you might want to chat to some of the older members of the congregation here to find out quite the music, but if you're enlightened, you will know it. That, and across the world, thousands of our alumni are working in every conceivable industry. We are proud to be hosting the Commonwealth Hockey and Squash in a couple of weeks' time, where Birmingham students and alumni will be representing their countries in 9 sports, including swimming, judo and athletics. It is telling that 1/3 of the English women's hockey team studied at Birmingham. I'm genuinely proud to be standing here today on behalf of the university where inspirational people do inspirational things, where every day we have the ability to change lives for the better. And today I am inspired by what you have achieved. As you embark on the next chapter of your lives, you may know exactly what you are going to do, or you might still be considering a range of options. Your future is in your hands, and each of you will find a different path in the world. As you do this, I hope you will take a piece of Birmingham with you. Your experiences here have given you a fantastic academic grounding. You will also have honed a range of other skills, maybe without noticing. You will leave here being able to analyse and critique information. You are likely to be well practiced at discussing and debating issues with respect. And you will understand the importance of having an open mind to other views. Together, these skills will enable you to make a difference in the world. We have many global challenges that we need to tackle, and it is people like you, in ways big and small, who will be the ones to solve them. In a few minutes' time, you will walk out as graduates of the University of Birmingham and celebrate in the Green Heart with your fellow students, family and friends. This marks the end of this one chapter in your life. And after today, some of you will leave Birmingham and maybe even leave the UK. Despite this, you remain part of our alumni family, and we will still be here for you. Our careers service remains open to you, and our fantastic alumni relations team run events for recent graduates and can connect you with alumni across the world. You may even decide to come and work with us. After you have finished celebrating today, you may have time for a quiet moment of reflection. If this is the case, I hope you will think fondly of your time here, about the people who have supported you, and about your success in achieving your degree. You entered the Great Hall today as graduands, but you leave as graduates of the University of Birmingham. you can look back with genuine pride on what you have achieved. Class of 2022, well done.
I declare the congregation closed.
Congratulations to our new graduates. The attendees applaud our new graduating class. To close the ceremony, the maces are collected from the stage. The mace bearers lead the procession of staff and new graduates out of the Great Hall. The ceremony that completes the university journey for hundreds of Birmingham alumni is now closed. The live stream has now ended.